Consciousness, awareness, is not located in the body, nor in the brain, and it is a very common misconception. The funny thing is that it is actually quite the contrary to that, because the entire experience of the world, in which the experience of this human also appears, as well as its associated mind, that all appears in and is made of consciousness and awareness. And the reason we get this all wrong is simply due to a misplaced identity. We think we associate ourselves with the body because we have this idea, this notion, this common belief, very materialistic belief in fact, that when the body dies, that you, whatever you are, somehow passes away along with the body. That you no longer exist, that you cease to exist when the body passes away. And this really just means that you have taken yourself to be the body. And the entire materialist view is really that consciousness or awareness, it is simply the arising on behalf of the mechanisms of the brain, or the intertwining of the entire organism that we call the human being, that somehow this body gives rise to awareness. And this is a belief. You may not have questioned this belief. It may be a very commonly held belief amongst many people, but it still is a belief. And it is a belief which is not actually experientially verified, because when we explore themes such as near-death experiences, astral projection, out-of-body experiences, or we go through the nitty-gritty process of dissecting every single element of experience, we see that what remains when everything associated with this world, this body, this mind is taken away, that there is still something present, that there is still something here. And we may not be able to pinpoint exactly what that is, but what we all commonly refer to that as is I. It is you. You remain all the same, regardless of the contents or the lack of content of the experience. And so what does that tell you? It tells you that you are more than this body, mind, world. So you may still have this belief, and you are completely in your right to still have this, but I invite you to take this analogy of a dream. You go to sleep at night, you imagine yourself to be this dream character. You go through the dream, something happens. We have all had this dream of something happening, and our dream body is killed. It dies somehow. And what happens when the dream character dies? You wake up. And what do you wake up to? You wake up to the realization that you had never left your bed. That who you truly are never went anywhere. That the dream didn't displace you. The dream didn't make you any less. The dream simply happened in what you already are. This entire experience that you are having right now watching this video, the entire experience of the world, the entire experience of the body-mind, all that you can point to, all that you can describe, that all appears in a dreaming mind of God. And I don't like using that phrase or that association, because for me it is very overused, and it sort of loses its meaning when used to such an extensive measure. But what I'm really pointing towards is that although the connection may be severed to this body, that we have ample proof that what you are remains all the same. And you may discount all these experiences, these accounts of near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, astral projection. You may not believe any of that, because you may think, well, that's just the byproduct of neurochemical involvements, and the interactions of the brain happening upon entering various states and whatnot, and I'm not going to tell you otherwise. What I will refer to more than anything is that you cannot have an experience of not being aware. You cannot have an experience of not being. You may imagine that in deep sleep or prior to birth that there was nothing. And sure, maybe there was or is nothing experientially to point towards. But that is my entire point, that the experience of something still appears in what you are. How can something appear if there isn't something for it to appear in? So although the experience is retraced upon entering deep sleep, or let's say upon the onset of death, that the curtain of experience is pulled back, so to speak. That it is pulled back into something. It is not as though, although all experience disappears when you go to sleep at night, that you cease existing, because the next morning all of that experience re-emerges in what? You. It re-emerges in you. So that should be an observation that leads you to conclude that you didn't go anywhere in deep sleep. You may not have had any self-referential point to associate with, because experience wasn't there. There wasn't any content to describe. And so if you are coming from this place of identifying yourself with the contents of experience, of course there is nothing to be found. But the contents of experience that you may have misplaced yourself to be, that all appears and disappears in what you truly are. And what you truly are then can be nothing else but awareness, consciousness, pure being, whatever you want to name it or describe it as. It is what you have always ever been, timelessly always been, unceasingly, completely unfazed by the contents of experience. It is what you are. So you cannot possibly be a byproduct of this brain or this human body. You cannot arise out of or on behalf of this worldly experience that is really just a dream. And so I know that many of you watching may have lots of doubts. You may still be troubled and find yourself caught in the clutches of conceptualizing all of this and not being able to feel it experientially, not being able to grasp this simple truth of what you are. And that is why I've launched my spiritual life coaching program in the description down below. And before I continue on explaining, I want you to just take a deep breath. This program is for you, who still find yourself grappling with all this, who wants to touch the truth, the core of your own being, to be able to stand on your own feet experientially, to not have to rely on me, because I am not here to make you reliant on my services. No. I want to help you, assist you as a friend, as someone who cares, as someone who has been in your shoes. I'm here for you. And so if you feel called, check it out in the description. See if we're a good match. I'd love to see you there. Have a good one. Bye.